Hi there, Tania. Let's have a look at your most recent writing and see whereabouts you are. I'll try to give you as many tips as I can, as these are your final corrections, I believe, before we say goodbye, unless of course you want to continue writing with us. So, I would say in recent decades. Here you would have to say over the last few decades, or over the last several decades, or over the last 3 decades, but you need a quantity here. Or you could just say in recent decades. In recent decades, the population in central cities has grown enormously as people seek new job opportunities. In order to decentralize cities, so I would use the S here. Don't forget this is a British exam, so we use British English. In order to decentralize cities, regional governments have decided to encourage companies to relocate to countryside locations. Countryside is one word. Countryside locations. Full stop. While this brings advantages to people's welfare, there are also disadvantages to be taken into account. Firstly, one benefit of relocating companies to rural areas is that land is more economical, or land prices are more economical, which encourages small and medium businesses to develop. Secondly, increasing employment in these outlying zones improves people's well-being in those particular areas. For example, rural citizens would have additional opportunities or additional employment opportunities with proper salaries to support their families. Thirdly, relocating companies from the city would reduce congestion, which is a primary cause of air pollution and many health problems of city dwellers. On the other hand, an issue of locating companies outside of city limits is that constructing the necessary infrastructure, such as power and sewage systems, is costly. Full stop. This is due to the fact that remote locations require custom-made installations or remote locations can require many miles of custom-made installations at great expense. Additionally, the lack of internet connectivity in rural areas could present many issues, as the majority of companies require access to the internet. For instance, a retail company which desires to buy and sell goods must create a website. I think that we've gone a bit too much into internet connection here. I think the internet connection problem is a good problem to use, but I don't think it requires this much expansion. I think it would have been good just to stick to infrastructure. Infrastructure is a much bigger problem than internet connectivity. So I would have used an example that showed that the construction of infrastructure was an incredibly expensive endeavour, but also decentralising infrastructure, incentivising the construction of new infrastructure is a positive, isn't it? Especially if it's not as dense as it was previously. Infrastructure made in city centres is going to be very close to all of the other stuff, which makes it inaccessible. It's a very big problem. But having it spread out over the entire city zone instead of in the centre means that the entire city gets access to good infrastructure and not just the middle bit. So this could also be taken as a positive. So in conclusion, while local governments encourage the migration of companies from let's say, while it is beneficial for local government to encourage the migration of companies outside of metropolitan areas, it can also lead to expensive installations and deficiencies in internet connectivity. I like your ideas, and I do like the way you've laid them out. But let's remember that one paragraph, a really good paragraph, contains one idea, and that idea is introduced, expanded, supported, and explained. So to list multiple ideas in one paragraph it's more of a band 6 technique. To really explore one idea in a paragraph is certainly more of a band 7 technique. To explore one idea in a paragraph and then support it with additional ideas is a band 8 technique, but I wouldn't worry about that just yet. In order to score a band 7, really you just need to have a very well explained idea in each paragraph, but just the one. So let's move on to your next piece. So a relative is coming. So we don't need to write formally. We can write as informally and personally as we like. We need to give directions, is essentially directions and suggestions is this letter. So, my dear Lily, I would say I'm absolutely delighted that you'll be arriving today. Unfortunately, I will be at work when you arrive at 2:30 p.m. as I have to present a project, and I will not finish until at least 5 p.m. Let's say I'm writing this letter so as to prevent you from getting lost. I will leave my apartment keys with my friend Anne. She works at the bookshop on the ground floor. She is expecting you. Let's let her know. Let's give her peace of mind. Anne is expecting her. So she works at the bookshop on the ground floor and she is expecting you. Secondly, at the main entrance of the airport, on your left you will see a coffee shop, behind which there is a taxi rank. We say taxi rank, R-A-N-K, taxi rank. Grab one and give the address to the taxi driver. The trip is only 10 minutes and should be really cheap. I apologise for not being there. I have organised a surprise party for you, although it's not much of a surprise because I'm telling you now. So, the question, if you look just here, is to give suggestions. So it was more looking for phrases like I think we should, or I would like us to, using the conditional. I would like us to, I think we should, that sort of thing. This is great that you planned a surprise party. But we need a bit more detail than that, just because it asks you to suggest plans. So this doesn't suggest a plan. This is just you telling them that you have made a plan. So, love your beloved sister. That's great. You should really include your name as well, though. But the only thing I would say to this, one, pay attention to the times when I smoothed out your sentences, but also when it asks you to suggest plans, do so specifically, is all I'm saying. But I really can tell that you've been studying. There is a great improvement to your writing in these pieces. I'm impressed. What I might do is send you another set of questions just to make sure that you get some more practice in. So I'll send this over to you now, along with 2 free questions, so that we can keep working a little bit longer. Speak soon, Tania. Have a nice day.